Alright, we are back with another MLP video, and in today's video, we'll be ranking all of Discord's focus episodes on Friendship is Magic. Now, if you watch my previous MLP videos, it's no secret that I'm not a really big Discord fan. While I understand that he's supposed to be a more realistic take on the Reformed villain, his actual development throughout the series is pretty wonky. Some episodes he's fine and pretty charming, but a lot of times I think his quirks annoy me and that his warped morals make him less likable than what the writers were going for. So I decided, you know what, why don't we just rank all these focus episodes and see what happens? So I determined that there were 9 Discord focus episodes. We're going to rank each of them, and without wasting any more time, let's dive right in. So starting off the list at number 9, the worst Discord episode in my opinion has to be A Matter of Principles from season 8. And again, this is easily the most frustrating episode to watch out of this group, and the worst example of Discord being difficult and counterproductive for the sake of quote unquote teaching someone a lesson. Here we have Discord manipulate the QD map to send the main 6, which includes Fluttershy by the way, into harm's way, just so Starlight can be named substitute head mayor so that she can appoint him as her assistant. And then when Starlight understandably doesn't want Discord's help, Discord spends the whole episode acting out like a child and proving to everyone why he is the least qualified person to run a school. And by the end, Starlight is the one to learn a lesson about being considerate and whatever. Right. But like I said, I didn't find Discord funny whatsoever. The moment where Starlight blasts him with magic is more cathartic than a I guess I brought this on myself moment. Honestly, it's not just the fact that Discord is being completely unhelpful and messing with Starlight's confidence, as we'll see in season 9 for Twilight. It's that a lot of his actions hurt the students a lot more than Starlight herself. And that's not fun, like at all. At the end, when Starlight finally learns her lesson, I guess, and views Discord the same way she views her students as a guidance counselor, I didn't feel sorry for him. I mean, you want to be in charge of the school. I mean, you want to be taken seriously. You got to be able to handle that stuff better. So yeah, this episode is pretty bad and not something that I would enjoy rewatching. Like I said, easily the worst Discord episode. It's here at number 9. Moving on to number 8, we have the next worst Discord episode, and that is from season 4, Three's a Crowd. Here we have the first instance of Discord trying to quote unquote teach someone a lesson. And I'll admit, it's not the funnest watch in the world. Discord's pretty annoying for a lot of this, with him deliberately passing up Pinky's offer to care for him. Oh yeah, speaking of which, not a fan of Pinky getting easily distracted by a balloon here. The pacing is pretty bad as well. Before watching this episode for the list, I assumed the adventure of getting to the flower took up much more of the episode than what it actually did. But then I rewatched the episode, and they don't actually leave Ponyville until 2/3 into the episode. It cuts to Twilight and Cadence flying Discord on a chariot, and they pretty much arrive immediately. Meanwhile, Discord stalling, messing with the main 6, and the glass of water song take up so much screen time that it's overkill. Now I realize that this is a double-edged sword. Because the episode doesn't harp as much on Twilight being bothered by not hanging out with Cadence, I'm not as upset watching it, but at the end of the day, that is an issue with the episode. Cadence wanting some excitement in her life is barely focused on, which I think is a consequence of the journey across Equestria not being focused on more. I feel like the episode might have been stronger if Twilight and Cadence got more screen time together, trying to deal with Discord during the journey, and then we get to the reveal where Discord wasn't actually sick, it was merely testing Twilight to see if she still cared about him now that she's a princess. Now, I think from a continuity perspective, this feels a bit sudden, as Discord was reformed not long before Twilight was actually coronated. But to be fair, we see Twilight pushing back, saying that Discord is wrong, and then Discord gets a comeuppance, to where he actually gets sick at the end. That felt a little nice, not gonna lie. So I think conceptually this episode can be forgiven a bit, as this is the first Discord episode after getting reformed, so his warped morality and rough edges are a bit more excusable. We even see the other main 6 not really trusting him and not enjoying his presence. And since this episode is before Twilights Kingdom, I do cut Discord some slack for his antics. But the reason this episode is so low on the list is because of the pacing. Technically speaking, it is a rushed, poorly told story. And while I do cut Discord some slack, at least on paper, I do think they should have cut back on his screen time, especially when he's stalling. So, yeah, not the best episode in the world. I have it here at number 8. Now we're moving on to number 7. The next episode on the list is a season 5 episode, we have What About Discord? I remember not liking this episode the first time I watched it, with a lot of that having to do with Discord himself. I never like it when communication is intentionally stifled, when there's no good reason for it, and Discord is really the one being a pain in the butt about it, trying to make Twilight jealous simply to teach her a lesson. And on the rewatch, I still feel that to a degree. Discord is really annoying for a lot of this episode, as he once again demonstrates how a lot of this teaching a lesson business is manufactured. With that said, I think my opinion of this episode has gone up a bit after watching it. For one, while Discord is annoying, the rest of the main six weren't that bad. Not only were they not as insensitive as I remember, but I think that the insensitivity they do display is unintentional and they mean well. When Twilight lashes out at the end, they're pretty understanding and quick to apologize for making Twilight feel left out. Another thing, and really the big thing, is the fact that Discord is called out for manufacturing Twilight's jealousy, and he kind of learns a lesson too at the end, although he clearly doesn't do the best job applying it in future episodes. Aside from that, I very much relate to Twilight feeling left out and wanting to understand things she wasn't a part of. I can say from experience that it feels good to be a part of special things. FOMO is real, and when small details feel more noticeable and important when you're out of the loop than when you know what's happening, so you really want to be in on it. So again, I think this episode has some merit going for it, but at the end of the day, a lot of it isn't fun to watch because I'm just so annoyed by Discord. Plus, I really like the Starlight cameo in it. It's nice seeing that being reinforced. But aside from that, this episode isn't great. It's here at number 7. Now we're moving on to number 6, and we actually have an episode from season 6. We have Dungeons and Dragons. Now, admittedly, I think this episode is alright. I mean, and I did consider putting it a bit higher, but considering the rest of the field, I figured this was a decent place to put it. In terms of Discord being annoying, I think this episode is an interesting middle ground. On one hand, some of his scenes are annoying, and it's pretty forced in the end when Spike and Big Mac kick him out, only to quickly cave in and let him back in. I mean, I felt like that was pretty annoying and kind of made the onus more onto Spike and Big Mac to learn something than what was really warranted. But on the other hand, it's interesting seeing Fluttershy pity him and really have Discord being treated like this friendless loser who doesn't really have anyone to be with or anywhere to go other than to be where Fluttershy is or to where she assigns him, being Spike and Big Mac. And it's cool seeing him denying it too, making him feel like he's above playing ogres and oubliettes for a lot of the episode. So I thought that was interesting. I mean, obviously the game itself is all right. You know, it's your typical Dungeon and Dragons type of deal. I mean, it's kind of cool how Spike and Big Mac are friends, and we obviously got mention of that in some previous episodes, but it's cool to see it elaborated upon here. And of course, we actually have the scene where Discord brings the game to life, and of course, Spike and Big Mac are scared about it because obviously they use it more for fantasy purposes, and now here's Discord kind of bringing them down to earth a bit. But in the end, I just think this episode's all right. I mean, I don't really have anything too much to say about it. It's there, it happened, but it's just good enough to be a number 6. Now we're moving on to number 5. We have a bit of a new tier here. We're going to be getting into some episodes where I feel like Discord's behavior is a bit more justified. But at number 5, we actually have the episode where he's technically reformed, and that is Keep Calm and Flutter On. Now, admittedly, I think the whole premise of Discord being liberated from the stone is a bit contrived. Like, while Celestia definitely says that we might need Discord's powers for good. I mean, we don't really get much explanation for why she thinks that way. I mean, Discord did just try to take over Equestria not too long ago, so for her to suddenly have this turnaround does feel a bit forced. I mean, I've heard people compare this to fan fiction, and I can definitely see those comparisons at play here. But obviously, Discord comes out, and he spends a lot of the episode kind of manipulating the main six in a way, or at least manipulating Fluttershy to where Fluttershy is giving him a second chance, and he is sort of rubbing it in the main six's face anytime that they don't accept him for who he is. I mean, that's definitely something we see from him during season 4, where wherever the main six get annoyed by him, he pushes back and says, "Oh, well, I'm reformed now." So I thought that was a bit interesting. Really, I think the whole argument of him being a more realistic villain and therefore having more rough edges despite being reformed is applicable in this episode, where we see him form this genuine friendship with Fluttershy, but at the same time, like, still thinking he can get away with a lot of the stuff that he did before and sort of taking advantage of her. And I'll admit the ending's a bit rushed as well, to where Fluttershy gets mad at him and then he acts all like he doesn't need Fluttershy anymore, but then very quickly turns around. I felt like that was kind of rushed. I felt like it would have been better if Fluttershy blowing up happened a bit earlier in the episode. But on the whole, like I think this is a fine episode. I mean, there are definitely things that I like about it, particularly the fact that the main six don't trust Discord, and the fact that Discord is trying to take advantage of Fluttershy, and that's the thing that the main six are trying to get through to Fluttershy. It just suffers from more technical issues like not giving Celestia an explanation for why she decides to let Discord go, or how rush the ending is, where Discord realizes that he does have a genuine friendship with Fluttershy, as that does become a pretty important aspect of his character moving forward. So, like I said, I'm kind of mixing the episode, but I think it's good enough to at least be number 5 on the list. Now we're moving on to number 4, and I'd say from the rest of this list, the episodes I'm going to be talking about are genuinely good. And while Discord isn't my favorite character by any means, I acknowledge that these episodes are good and that he is a good part of these episodes. So, at number 4, we have from season 5, Make New Friends but Keep Discord. Now, like I said, this is a good Discord episode in my opinion. While he isn't perfect from a morality standpoint, this is one of his more tolerable episodes. Plus, it's pretty refreshing when he's the only one that has to learn a lesson at the end. In this case, we see him get increasingly jealous over Fluttershy hanging out with Treehugger, leading him to try to make her feel jealous in return. He gets a ticket to the gala and brings along Smooze, who causes a lot of trouble, of course. It's fun seeing a lot of his interactions with Fluttershy, where Fluttershy just gets weirded out by him. And then there's the climax where he almost sends Treehugger to another dimension, only for Fluttershy to call him out and remind him that he's allowed to have other friends too. To me, this is a pretty nice lesson for him to learn, and it's nice seeing Fluttershy be the one to talk him down. I feel like at its core, this episode has a good amount going for it. Now, where I think it does suffer a bit is the fact that we don't see Discord really hang out with Smooze at all before the gala, which I think makes his realization a bit rushed. With that said, it's fitting how him ignoring Smooze during the dance is part of why things turned south. But on the whole, this is a pretty decent Discord episode and one of the more sympathetic portrayals for his character. So I have this episode here at number 4. Now we're moving on to number 3 on the list, and I would say this is definitely one of the better Discord episodes. Definitely one of the better ones post Redemption. But here at number 3, we have Discordant Harmony from season 7. Again, this is probably the best episode to feature a reformed Discord. At this point, it's a little secret that I believe Discord is written the best when the focus is on his relationship with Fluttershy, as she's one of the few characters that bring it out his good side. And this is an episode where that's really on full display. He spends the entire episode trying to appease Fluttershy, do whatever he can to make her happy, and be normal because he thinks that's what she wants. There's plenty of scenes of him doing Discord things in the different shops, but again, all of it feels like it's in good fun. Something I can't say about every Discord episode. And then we get to the actual tea party scene where Discord acts so normal that he kind of starts to die. Now, I know there's a version of me that would say that this is just some lame excuse to justify some of Discord's unlikable bits, but deep down, my issue with Discord isn't that he's wacky or has some fun gags, even if I don't find a ton of them funny. And considering that is the issue that causes Discord to almost die, I don't see much of that connection here. From there, we see Fluttershy start to want some wackier elements, like stare silly to nowhere and teabags that start singing. So really, I think this is a fantastic episode that's charming and light. It's refreshing to see Fluttershy and Discord having fun together, and a lot of those shop scenes of Discord getting ready for the tea party are nice as well. But the main reason I like this episode so much is because deep down, its heart is in the right place. Discord isn't trying to teach anyone a lesson. He's just doing what he can to make Fluttershy happy, and I'm okay with that. So, like I said, pretty good episode. Had some nice moments, like pretty good slice of life on the whole. So I have this one here at number 3. Now we're moving on to the top 2, and in case you haven't noticed, the top 2 are actually both two-parters, and I actually talked about both of these in my two-parter ranking, so if you haven't checked that out, be sure to do so. But at number 2, we have The Return of Harmony. Now, obviously, this is Discord's first episode, the one where he is actually a villain, and I'll admit that obviously this is a really good two-parter for the most part. A lot of great stuff in there. I mean, obviously, there's the whole stuff in part 1 where Discord corrupts each of the main 6 one at a time. In part 2, there's all the stuff of Twilight not really understanding what's going on and her thinking that her friends had turned on her. There's obviously the Reformation where Twilight helps them see like who they truly are and really helps them to snap out of it. I mean, There is good stuff about this two-parter. I mean, I'll admit that my personal feelings about it aren't as warm. I mean, it's a good two-parter, like, and it's number 3 on my two-parter ranking, but it's just not one of those two-parters that really connect with me on a personal level, or episodes that really connect with me on a personal level. But I always concede that it is a well put together two-parter. It's definitely one of the more enjoyable ones. Definitely had so quite a bit going on, like obviously with the main six and Discord, at least at the time, being an interesting enough villain. Now, again, I never found Discord to be that funny, so like I feel like a lot of his jokes in the episode were sort of random humor here and there, and I don't really find random humor to be that cool or funny per se. But even so, like, it's still a great two-parter on the whole. It's definitely one of the better Discord episodes, I can say that much. And I feel like it does justify its place here at number 2. Now we're moving on to number 1. The best Discord episode, in my opinion, is Twilight's Kingdom. Now, it's no secret at this point that Twilight's Kingdom is one of my favorite episodes in the entire show. It's easily the best two-parter, in my opinion, and it's one that I really connect with on a personal level. I mean, I've already gone into a lot of detail about it in some of my other videos. I'll just talk about Discord's involvement in it, as obviously this is technically a Discord episode, and I would say a lot of people would consider this to be the true episode where he actually gets reformed here. So obviously, there's the storyline of him being recruited by Celestia to spy on Tyrek, to keep an eye on him, and to notify Celestia and all the other princesses if Tyrek has been found and what have you. But obviously, through that, like Tyrek manipulates him into doing his bidding, and I always enjoyed the interaction that Tyrek and Discord have. I feel like they talk as if they're old flames of some sort, and to hear him talk about Discord as if he is his friend, how he talks about him as an equal, how he talks about how Discord's gone soft under this friendship stuff, like that's all great stuff right there, and I can genuinely see how Discord can buy into Tierek's thing. Like Discord isn't doing it to be evil; he's doing it because he wants to be Tierek's friend genuinely. So in a way, he has been reformed by Fluttershy, but has just been convinced to pursue other friends in pursuit of those goals that were mentioned above. And then obviously Tyrek betrays him at the end, where Tyrek does betray him, and through that, Discord understands the true value of friendship and learns to never really turn his back on his friends again. Although season 9 kind of gets in the way of that. This is a great episode on the whole, and it's a great Discord episode on the whole. Like, I feel like it does highlight a lot of Discord strengths. Like, he is a complicated figure a lot of the times. Like, it shows that on display. It shows that being a flaw of his, where I can understand why he decides to team up with Tyrek, and obviously that ends up coming back to bite him, where not only does Tyrek turn on him, but it obviously hurts the trust that he had built with the main six throughout season 4. So, like I said, this is a great episode on the whole, and definitely the best Discord episode on My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. And there we go. That will do it for this video. Obviously, I have more videos like this planned in the future for MLP, Total Drama, and other animated shows. I mean, if you enjoy this content, be sure to like and subscribe. If you're here for my Survivor and reality TV content, be sure to visit my other channel, Survivor Gumball. A lot of great stuff over there. But for now, that is the video. See ya.